I'm Rhod Gilbert, you're watching Comedy Demon from the Glasgow Comedy Festival.
We were lucky enough recently to catch up with the face of Wales comedian Rhod Gilbert to have a quick chat. But as he's recently won the Chortle Award for Comics Comic, we thought rather than speak to him ourselves, we would get some of the top circuit comedians to throw a few questions at him. So it's over to you, Andrew.
Hello, Rhod Gilbert. You won the Comedian's Comedian Award from the comedy comedian site chortle.co.uk, and obviously this award, the Comedian's Comedian, is voted for by comedians. It's an award for comedians, and it chooses a particular comedian, who is the Comedian's Comedian, to win the Comedian's Comedian Award. You won the Comedian's Comedian Award the first time you've won it. Did that come as a surprise? I mean, I voted for Simon Munnery.
I just assumed that was Daniel Kitson's. I vote for Daniel Kitson every year. I assume everyone votes for Daniel Kitson every year. Daniel Kitson wins it every year. And then they read my name out, and has Kitson stopped gigging? Has he given up? Is Kitson dead? I thought, what a way to find out that Kitson's dead. I get Comics Comic.
Hello, Rhod. Have you been back to Knutsford Service Station that features so heavily in this year's show?
I have been back to Knutsford Service Station several times.
And were you made to feel welcome?
I was quite welcome. Knutsford Service Station printed, well, they sent, I think it was the Knutsford Guardian, sent a journalist, an investigative journalist down to find out all about the mince pies and to find out what this comedian Rhod Gilbert was talking about. And I read the report, you know, the article in the Knutsford Guardian, and they had a quote in there that said, the manager assured me that they hadn't had any mince pies in, and this Rhod Gilbert guy was making it all up. And then he said, mind you, the manager did say he'd only been there for 8 weeks, and that was in July, I think.
And how were the toilets?
The toilets were all right. Yeah, I pressed the smiley face. They were pretty good. Yeah.
Hello, Rhod. It's Lloyd Langford here. As you know, I am a staunch monarchist, and I was deeply offended by the comments you made to Prince Charles during last year's Royal Variety performance. I was wondering if the future King of England has got back in touch with you.
No, I haven't heard from Prince Charles, bizarrely. I haven't heard from him. Or Nick Nolte. Not Nick Nolte, Camilla, you know. You know, and he came up to me after the show and said something which I missed. Because he said it in Welsh. I don't really speak Welsh very well, and he doesn't speak Welsh very well. And he said something in Welsh. I assumed he was trying to be funny, so I laughed as if it was hilarious. I have no idea what he said.
Rhod Gilbert, you're the public face of Welsh Tourism. I, Andrew Maxwell, am the public face of Irish Tourism. My question to you, Rhod, is why? I'm
used to people asking me what's it like being the voice of Wales, because I've voiced those Welsh adverts for years, and now gone one step further and I'm actually appearing in them. Have you seen it? We don't get them in Wales. They don't show them in Wales. It's kind of obvious you're preaching to the converted, really.
Hello, Mr. Award winner Rhod Gilbert. I'm here in the ladies' toilets to ask you a question, which is the best place to ask a question about a podcast. Your podcast is called Rhod Gilbert's Best Bits. But actually, what are Rhod Gilbert's best bits?
What are my best bits? We'll have to listen to the podcast to find that out.
Ah, OK then. So what were the best bits of the last best bits?
He was outside my hotel when I was having a cigarette about 1 o'clock in the morning. This girl, she spilled her purse and all her cash, the change went everywhere. So the two of them got down on their knees, you know, very much on the way home, night out kind of thing, and scrabbling around for this money. But they weren't drunk, they were all right. And then this guy came staggering up the street, just like, you know, absolutely waving round back and forth, on his own, hammered, absolutely hammered. And then spotted this scenario with the girls looking for their money. And he just obviously decided to help. And completely unsolicited, he just went down on his knees as well and was just sort of going like this, not even anywhere near the change. You know, there was money over there, his hand was, he was hammered. And then he proceeded to throw up in exactly the place where they were all hunting for this change on the ground. And there we go. He was my favourite hero of last weekend.
Hi, Rhod. I have a question for you. Off the top of my head, with all the accolades you garnered in last year's festival, are you feeling under pressure with this year's show?
Yeah, there's always pressure in Edinburgh, I think. But this year I'm feeling it particularly, yeah. You've depressed me now, because last year's show was well received. It was better received than the other shows I've done up there. I didn't think it was any better than any of the others personally, but people seem to think it was. And yeah, the pressure is on. And I'll level with you, I've got absolutely nothing. Absolutely shit all, and it's March.
Hello, Rhod. My question for you is fishing rod or lightning rod?
What, Teen and Dweeb broke that? Lightning rod or fishing rod? Tell him to get a fucking laugh. What is wrong with that boy? tell him to work harder. Tell him, Tommy Tiernan or Tiernan the Teddy.
Oh, harsh. Do you? Okay, sorry, real question. Now that you've left Llanbobl, how are you finding the real world?
Well, it's a bit of an experiment for me living in the real world, and no, I don't think it's going particularly well. I suppose there's two things. The comedy career is going okay because the rest of my life in the real world is going so badly. And that's given me so much material to talk about that seems to be going okay. So it's kind of two halves to my life. Most of the time is terrible, living in the real world, and then that comes out in my comedy and that seems to go quite well. So it's kind of weird.